God is wonderful in His saints. Psalm 67:36. In the book Tracing the Footsteps of Mother Teresa, Renuga Narayan, a senior editor of Indian Express, writes, "It is the Parisian aristocrat Louise de Marillac who comes most to mind regarding Mother Teresa. She lost both parents in her teens and nursed her husband, after which she wished to devote her life to the service of God. Inspired by Saint Vincent de Paul, she became a hands-on social activist, nursing the sick, training working class women to do so well, and converting her own Parisian home into a workplace for her cause. Her work became the foundation of the worldwide network of Daughters of Charity, which leads to an international nursing association of religious nuns, cloistered women called the Sisters of Charity or Angels of the Battlefield. At his death, there were 26 parishes in Paris tending the sick poor. By the end of the 20th century, the Daughters of Charity formed the world's largest congregation of religious women. The saints were not superhuman. They were people who loved God in their hearts and who shared their joy with others, says Pope Francis. Every feast of our holy founder Saint Louise is a time to rejoice, to magnify her glory, to thank and to return to the words of our founder and mother Saint Louise de Marillac. Today, on this solemnity of Saint Louise, who dedicated her life to the poor, reminds us we are all called to be mystics in marketplace. Let us see the road from Jerusalem to Jericho goes in front of our houses and go to the fallen persons of our community and society, especially during this pandemic. Pope Pius XI said during his canonization on 11th March 1934, "Daughters of Charity, Louise de Marillac is one of you. She is your mother. Her glory is your glory. Receive as an inheritance her charity, her motherly concern. Hasten to faraway mission lands and to all places throughout the world where the sun from the east to the west illuminate your path and your footsteps along the ways trodden by heralds of Christ. Come, raise your eyes to the gaze of your mother, read in her the expressions, and hear from her lips her satisfaction and her encouragement to follow her spirituality. Prove yourselves worthy of her." In his apostolic exhortation, Gaudate et Exsultate, Pope Francis invites on the call to holiness in today's world. It gives shortcuts to holiness. Be joyful. Let us be joyful because the Lord is with us. Let us be joyful because the Lord blesses through Saint Louise de Marillac. Let us be joyful because the Lord calls us to serve Him in the poor. Let us be joyful because the Lord invites us to be His own. Saint Louise was a person who came to the Lord with the 5 breads, and the Lord blessed them, and it is multiplied into millions of breads. She came to the Lord with her nothingness and willingness to serve Him. She served Him with courage, compassion, concern, care, intelligence, and talents. And the Lord blessed her, made her good wife of Antony Legras, a good mother of Michael, the good superioress general of the Daughters of Charity of Saint Vincent de Paul, guide of the confraternities of charity, and founderess of the largest women congregation in the church, and at the end as a saint and as a patron of all the social works of the church. Lakhs of Daughters of Charity have followed her path of service and holiness. The heaven is filled with her daughters who are martyred, hundreds of blesseds, and more than 16,000 of her spiritual Daughters of Charity across the world in 96 countries. As a mother, nurse, teacher, founder, along with Saint Vincent de Paul, she shines today as a valiant woman of radiance. From the golden castle of Marillac, born a little girl who had wings. From her very young days she was left alone, boarding convent she grew up. From her aunt who taught her she learned to pray and wanted to be a nun. She went knocking the door, opened none. Then she bowed her head before the will of God. From husband's house she flew to the poor. She met the face of God in the poor. She went to them, served them. There she saw a holy man, the father of the poor, Saint Vincent. Vincent de Paul became her guide. He entrusted her the confraternities. She went to the poor with the wings of charity. Louise, our dear mother, you gave us that wings of love to fly to the needy, to reach out with love, to be a beacon of love.